Hello and welcome back to another episode of the 1.2 podcast. How's it going today, Jack?
What up? What up?
Please
I'm
let me
trying
say
to
that again.
like you always have the same introduction. I'm trying to think. I'm trying to find something that sticks, and
Oh, I see.
we'll throw
Test,
that one in the trash.
testing some content, some introduction content here.
Yeah, it's going or it's like doing well, doing well. Like you can only say the same thing so many times. So
Right, right. No,
what up?
yeah.
What up? It should go straight to the trash.
Straight to the trash. Straight to the trash. I mean,
Okay.
you're wearing your backwards hat.
That's
Kind
why
of
I thought it would
cool,
be. That's why I thought it
appropriate.
would. Yeah.
Yeah,
Like
yeah. Now, maybe if your background was, kind of like a more hip hoppy kind of scene, right? But like
sure.
you're in a basement and
Yeah.
it just doesn't ring, doesn't
Sorry.
stick. It's all
Sorry.
right. We all make mistakes in life,
I'm
so
trying.
that's you fail at all of the introduction lines that you don't try.
Next time, I'm just gonna say nothing.
There you go. Just pause. Just pause. How long could you pause in a podcast before people like assume that it just froze and try to restart it?
I don't know. One of these days we're going to find out because I don't have the greatest internet connection. And sometimes I'm just sitting here waiting for you to finish talking when you've probably been done for 20 seconds. But oh well.
Oh well. Oh well. All right. So what we got today?
Yeah. So, I mean, I don't think we've ever talked about how we do our topics.
No, I don't
But
think so.
recently, you and I have been alternating on picking a topic, and the other person doesn't know about it.
Right.
And at least in my case, even the person picking the topic doesn't really know about it until the podcast starts either. But I think it's fun because that we kind of keeps us on our toes, keeps the one listener that we have on his toes.
Right. That's right.
But today, I was inspired by I listen to sports talk radio, right? And I think
Yep.
you do too.
Yep.
And I always get frustrated this time of year, or maybe a little bit early on it, but I heard them start talking about it. So a lot of the shows that I listen to do power rankings, right?
Yeah. Yep.
And for whatever reason, there's the obligatory, Thanksgiving food power rankings.
Oh.
And
Yeah.
there's an entire show devoted to good and bad Thanksgiving foods and side dishes and so on and so forth.
Right.
I'm like, why are we listening to this on a sports radio show? But nonetheless, I want to put a little bit of a different twist on that.
Okay.
And so, not necessarily power rankings, but is there a foods, whatever you can think of, that you would say the general public or general consensus is, I like that food, or we like that food? Is there an example you can think of something you don't like?
Well, I think, there's different categories of this, but the most obvious one for me has actually, as I've gotten older, and it is cake and
Mm.
and most cookies, right? So um, when you're a kid, I think like anything just sugary, you just like it, right? But now, as I've matured in my palate, right? You get your typical Walmart cake or your typical, just lots of sugar. The sponge itself is just like it's a yellow cake or even the
Mhm.
chocolate or vanilla, things like that. Um, and it's too much sugar. And with cookies, so many cookies are just kind of really crispy and they almost hurt your mouth when you're eating them.
Got a
And
cookie snob.
and I'm like, why are we doing this? Right? When now with cookies, it's tough because the best cookies. And when you've had a good cookie, then you don't want to have, you know, anything else. But the best cookies are fresh from the oven, right? And so it's kind of like, why am I eating this cookie that is just crispy and hard and bland compared to like the warm, melty chocolate chip cookie that just came out of the oven. The only way to get the kind of soft cookie, otherwise would be to put a bunch of like extra ingredients that, who knows what's in that stuff.
Sure.
So I mean, cookies and cake for me have lost a lot of their allure. Um, whereas most people still generally, oh yeah, slice of cake. Oh yeah, give me some cookies. So I'd start with that.
Yeah, I'm right there with you on cake.
Mm-hmm.
But
Mm-hmm.
for me, that hasn't been a maturation of my palate. I've always hated cake.
You're a natural born cake hater.
Natural born cake hater. And for me, the reason why I do not like frosting, cake has
Mm-hmm.
too much frosting on it.
Mm-hmm.
Um, you know, I gag when I see my children. They're like, I want the piece with the biggest frosting, most frosting on it. That's disgusting. Like, you can have it because I don't want it. And I've always been like birthdays, whatever. I've always been an ice cream cake guy
Oh
because
yeah. Oh yeah. That's the
I
best.
can't. I
Best
just
of both
can't
worlds.
do cake.
Yeah. No,
Is
ice
there
cream.
is
Ice cream
there
cake is phenomenal.
is there anything for you not sweet related?
That's tough. I am not a picky eater at all. I really enjoy almost any any type of food. Um, I would say, and I've been a lot of places too, and so culturally, there's different dishes in different areas. You've got with the southern stuff, you've got the collard greens and things like that. I like that. You've got in the Southwest, obviously you have more Hispanic foods and things like that. I love all that. Tamales. Not a huge fan of tamales. It has that kind of corn dough base to it, and it doesn't have a large enough ratio of like filling to whatever. I don't know if you would consider that a dough or what, but I'm not a big tamale fan.
Would you consider tamales something that the average person likes?
Probably not. Probably not. It's bigger in um, like pop culture. Like everybody knows what
Yeah.
a hot tamale is, right? Like
Hmm.
it's something that a lot of people know about, but not as many people have actually had a tamale. And even fewer people have had a tamale from like a lady who goes around from apartment to apartment selling actual tamales,
Right.
right? So yeah, that's I would say not doesn't fit the description of the classical um, dish, right?
All right. So since you're struggling to think of some, I have some,
Okay,
and I can
let's
throw
hear it.
those. I'll throw those out to you. Some of them are mine. Some of them are people that I know.
Got
So I think where I'm going with the first one, but
it.
baked pasta.
Baked
That's a
pasta.
no. Lasagna,
So
absolutely not.
why cook it twice? Why it
Exactly.
was perfectly good the first time. Why cook it
Like,
twice?
I just don't understand the process of like when you make pasta, what are you doing?
Right, you're softening the noodle,
You're
right?
literally like hydrating it,
Right,
right?
right.
Right? You're putting it in boiling water and you're taking something that's hard, crispy, uncooked, and you're bringing it to life
That's right. Right.
only to kill it again.
Well, now they have lasagna that is pre it's ready to bake.
Right.
So
Yep.
now
Still dumb.
I think the idea though is you get this crispiness, right? It's like when you grill something and you've got like the little bit of charred, crispy ends on things and stuff like that. You get this crispiness. So I think it's a texture thing for
Yeah,
baked
but
pasta.
I like crispy. Like burn the cheese on top or something. Like
Oh yeah,
I
yeah.
don't
It's
like you char something on the grill. You don't kill the inside of it.
Do you like mac and cheese?
That's about the only. Yes, I do like mac and cheese. I would prefer it just straight out of
So do you
the
prefer
pot, but I
like
but I would eat that's about the only baked pasta dish I
now
would eat.
what about like homemade mac and cheese versus like where you actually take a wedge of cheese and you're grating that cheese up and you're mixing it with this roux with milk and cream
Yeah.
and stuff like that. And then you've got to cook it and then you put it in the oven and then you put cheese on top of that, maybe some breadcrumbs or whatever.
Yep. Yep. I'll eat
Versus
that.
now would you two of them sitting next to each other, which would you take? Would you take that one or would you take the Kraft mac and cheese out of the box?
It depends on if you did a good job with it, right?
With the homemade?
With the homemade, yeah.
Yeah.
My issue with and I think this is my larger issue with baked pasta too is I'm thinking about like the resale reheat value of it.
Okay,
Like
that's fair.
I'm generally okay. Like I'll tolerate the first fresh piece,
Mm-hmm.
even with lasagna. Like
Mm-hmm.
would I ever ask someone to make it or would I ever make it myself? No. But and I can generally eat that first piece. It's not horrible. But you put that thing in the microwave to reheat it. Not only do you have World War III
Yeah,
going on in there,
yeah, right, right.
but
You need
then
to,
it's always that
yeah.
you put it in for 2 minutes and it's still cold. Like, come on.
You have to cut it up first. You have to
And
cut it up first.
that's
So
my
it's
issue
it like
with like
yeah.
homemade mac and cheeses though, because that first taste is great. You know that I'll eat that, but you reheat it, you all of a sudden you just lost all of
It's almost like you have
the
to reheat it
goodness.
in the oven. Like you
Yeah.
can't just reheat it in the microwave. You got to reheat it in its original intended
And
manner.
one pro tip I've learned recently, and probably not a pro tip, you probably like I've always been doing that, but you reheat some homemade mac and cheese, you pour a little milk in it
See, I don't. No, I don't know that. I don't know
in the
that one.
microwave. You
Okay.
pour a little milk in it.
Okay.
It brings it back to life.
Hmm. Hmm. So we don't do homemade mac and cheese very often, but yeah, I'll have to think of that. I'll have to think of that. Now, I think what an underrated dish is mac and cheese with like a barbecue pulled pork on top of it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
That is a phenomenal dish. You shouldn't do it more often.
Anytime that I'm going somewhere that's got pulled pork with barbecue and mac and cheese, that's always getting mixed.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah.
So here's another one for you. This one's not me, and I don't know if this qualifies as the general consensus, but my wife does not like anything buffalo chicken flavored.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
I think generally people like that. Like
I think they like the flavor. Some
mhm,
people might want the mild
right.
version, but yes, I would agree.
And
Most people like
it's
that.
not necessarily a spice thing with her either.
Now,
Like even
does she like Tabasco or Chalupa or
no,
what
no,
any hot sauces whatsoever?
no,
She
no.
doesn't mind a spicy dish, but she doesn't like any form of the I don't know the pepper based
Well,
hot sauces.
yeah, I don't think she likes any spicy dish. But
Okay.
that's not the reason why she doesn't like buffalo chicken flavor. Because we've had just like very, very mild, like a buffalo chicken ranch,
Yeah. Right.
type
Right.
dish, and just does not like that. And I think most people do.
Yeah. Yeah. I'd agree. I tend to agree.
So that one's a strange one for me, and unfortunate because I really love buffalo chicken.
Yeah. 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 No. I, I think my preferences are less about like the food in general, but how it's usually cooked.
Sure.
Right. Like so, if I go to a restaurant, I never order chicken. Never order chicken because they always overcook it, so it's
Hmm.
always a little dry. So I think a lot of people get chicken at at restaurants, and I find it to be dry. So I never get chicken. I try to order things that I can't cook at home better or cheaper. So, that's where, the pulled pork or like a nice, barbecue thing or something like that, where I just don't have the time to smoke or barbecue something, or fish, right? Fish fry, because I don't have a fryer and all that stuff. So that's typically what I'm looking for, not some, chicken breast on a pile of pasta that I could make at home.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mint chocolate.
Oh, I like mint chocolate, but you cannot eat it before you eat anything else.
True. It's
It
got to be
lingers.
the finishing.
It lingers. I mean, mint in general lingers, but chocolate especially. You have like one of those York patties. That
Mhm.
thing is with you for 5-10 minutes. Like, you can't eat anything else after that. You could drink some water, but that's really it. So you don't care for those at all, or you just,
No, I love mint chocolate.
yeah.
That's another wifey
Okay.
dislike, which I'm making her sound like a picky eater, and by far the
No, no, no,
pick.
no.
I'm by far the pickier eater.
One or two
Uh,
things does not make you picky,
yeah,
right?
I'm just thinking of these like general consensus. Like I would think most people like mint chocolate flavored
Mm-hmm.
things.
Mm-hmm.
I certainly do. Mint chocolate chip ice cream was my favorite ice cream growing up.
Yep. Yep.
I love little like after Thanksgiving we'd always have a fancier, bougier version of an Andes mint.
Yep. Right. Right.
Mint chocolate chip Oreos, or not chocolate chip, mint Oreos.
Right. Right. So
I
here's
love it.
here's one. Scrambled eggs. Just straight standard scrambled eggs. And the reason is I can't find anything to put on it that I particularly care for, except for like hot sauce. And so if I'm not in the mood for hot sauce, it's an out. Now I like egg bakes, because it's
Hmm.
got like the sausage in it. It's got the the adds to it. I like fried eggs. I like poached eggs. I like eggs on sandwiches. I love eggs, but just your typical scrambled eggs, even with some salt and pepper, it there's something about the texture and the flavor profile, whatever it is, it doesn't taste good. And there's nothing I like ketchup. Where you gonna put ketchup on your eggs?
Yeah.
I mean, I know people do, right? And if it's like in a scrambler, it has the other things. It's got some potato mixed in there. So then, yeah, okay, you could put some ketchup on it. It's okay. But like, yeah, I don't want to put ketchup on straight up scrambled eggs.
Scrambled eggs for me last place on the egg
For sure.
hierarchy. Like
Yeah. Yeah.
I would eat it an egg pretty much any other way than scrambled.
Yeah.
Like just a straight up scrambled egg. It's got to have cheese mixed in,
Mm-hmm.
and
Mm-hmm.
I put salsa on it.
Okay, salsa, I've done that, and that's fine, right? Like that does make it better, um, but that's only a little bit better for me. And then I feel like I have to make my whole breakfast like salsa themed,
Right.
right? Like it's hard for me to have like one Spanish or Hispanic kind of twist on a meal, but not the rest of it. So if
I'm
I
the
have,
same way. So if you got like uh, sausage you're eating on the side that you'd ordinarily dip maybe like some maple
yeah,
syrup, you
yeah, I
can't
can't.
do that.
No,
Right.
no,
Right.
you can't have toast with jelly on it,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Like now we're just mixing things, and it's all out of order.
I'm with you 100% on that. Like, I don't think that's weird at all. You get one
Yeah,
theme and one theme only.
right, right. Yep, yep. So yeah,
I this is something, so I really struggle with that, like with chicken nuggets and French fries or something,
mm,
because
hmm,
I prefer to dip my chicken in a like Chick-fil-A
sure.
or Raising Cane type sauce, which I know you probably don't like Raising Cane because that's mayo.
No, no, no. I like, well, Chick-fil-A is kind of too, right?
Yeah, but it's more like honey mustardy.
Yeah, yeah. No, I like mayo. I'm a mayo
Okay.
guy. Yeah.
Okay. I thought you were like not anti, but less mayo based stuff. But
So mayo is a again southwestern kind of thing. like I'd never put mayo on a burger until I came out here.
Mm.
But I actually like it. I
Okay.
like it a lot.
Okay.
It was not something I grew up with, but I have assimilated to that.
So like this is gonna sound so silly, but with my chicken and French fry thing, I prefer to dip the chicken into that more honey mustardy type
Mm-hmm.
sauce,
Mm-hmm.
but I like to dip French fries in ranch
Sure,
and
that's fair.
usually like a ranch barbecue mixture,
Okay.
especially if we're
Okay.
talking about sweet potato fries.
Mm,
And
okay.
so but I don't like having, two different and really
Multiple
three
dips. Yeah.
sauces
Right. Right.
on a plate.
It's too many sauces.
And it's like, so do I just make one ranch barbecue dip and just because I don't mind the chicken in that either.
Right. Right.
And I just go chicken into that,
Um.
or do I just treat myself? Do I just say the heck with it? I like what I like. I can have two sauces on the same plate.
I would just go straight barbecue in that situation because that's my preference for sweet potato fries. It's just a straight barbecue, or like a cinnamon butter type swirled up butter.
Mm-hmm.
So those are like whipped butter. Yeah, those are the two things that you know, with. So I would take my barbecue sauce with that one. But you know what? I'd say just go for it. Just do
Okay,
two.
I can be happy.
You can make yourself happy with two sauces. It's okay. It's okay. Yeah.
Okay, what about raw vegetables?
So, I mean, raw vegetables are there to make you feel good about yourself, right? I don't think anyone actually likes them.
Okay,
I,
thank you. Can we agree that nobody actually likes it?
no, because
Like,
if you know
get
what
the hell out of here with that.
we don't. It's you don't you put like on a salad, for example, right? It's like mostly lettuce, and then there's like kind of the sliced up veggies, and then some dressing, right? You don't just like eat the salad just plain, right? So you got to mix stuff up. It just no no if you're eating it, it's because you want to feel good about the other stuff you're eating. Like if I eat
Yeah,
these two little things of broccoli, then I can have this mac and cheese, and it
yeah,
cancels
yeah.
out the
That's
you
just
know.
not. That doesn't register with me. Like, I don't care. I'm gonna
Now,
eat what I eat.
if you know that you're gonna have something unhealthy later on, will you just like skip dinner?
Correct. Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. So I've brought home ice cream before, and I'm like, I know I'm going to eat this after the kids are in bed. So, I don't need this mac and cheese or this whatever, we're having for dinner because I know I'm going to eat, 1,000 calories worth of ice cream later.
See, I'm more likely to. I'm a savory guy.
Yeah.
Like, I'm
Yeah.
not a huge. I eat a lot of sweets, but I'm not like I would rather have a nice savory meal, and
Sure. Sure.
so I'm more likely to, if I know I got a big dinner coming
Mm-hmm.
or a good dinner coming,
Mm-hmm.
I'm more likely to skip lunch
Sure. Sure.
or have something just like really small
Right.
because I'm like, here, it's coming later and I'm going to eat like three times as many calories as a normal dinner. So,
So one thing that um, this was actually a COVID thing at first was peanut butter.
mm,
Peanut butter, when I got COVID, I mean it was rancid.
wow.
It was disgusting. Like, and I loved peanut butter growing up, and Reese's and Butterfinger. That was my favorite mix in for ice cream, things like that. Um, I would say I've recovered from that, thankfully. Got to have that peanut butter milkshake. But like peanut butter sandwiches or anything that's too much on the peanut butter side, it's got to have like a creaminess or something to balance it out. I never got fully back to peanut butter, even though that's such a big staple. And
Yeah.
that like the typical peanut butter and jelly sandwich, I'm not a fan. Some people just peanut butter sandwiches. I it's just I don't know. I never got quite back to peanut butter.
This probably goes back to my baked pasta, but I am a texture guy. I
Hmm.
don't like bananas, a straight up banana.
Okay.
I like banana flavored things.
Okay.
Like I really like strawberry banana.
Hmm.
A smoothie, even in a smoothie setting. Like
Sure.
literally just take the banana, put it in the blender. I'm good. But it'd be a cold day that you'd be seeing me eat a straight up banana.
Hmm. Hmm. So, is there an inverse to this? Is there something that you like that not many people like, or culturally people don't really like that
Yeah, I
much?
was trying to think of that.
So, I mean,
Um,
for me, a lot of it is, um, like foreign stuff that I've tried.
mm-hmm.
Like I'm gonna go with borscht, right?
Okay. Yep.
The cold soup, beet based. And then it could be warm or cold, and you can put cream in it. Some people don't put cream in it, but I put sour cream in it. I love borscht. I love borscht. It's like the dill in it. There's a lot of dill weed. It's really fresh and refreshing tasting, and all that. Um, but a lot of people look at it, with suspicion, rightfully so. It's beets. It's beet soup, right? So
Mm-hmm.
you tell someone beet soup, and they're justified in their suspicion. But I love borscht. I love good borscht. So I need to make that sometime.
I think I'm a stinky cheese guy,
Oh yeah, yeah.
like a
So
Limburger cheese.
that's rare for Wisconsin,
Yeah.
right? Wisconsin. So when I first moved here, I'm like, oh man, this is the cheese capital of the world, right? This is it. Everybody loves cheese. And then you start looking at what cheeses Wisconsinites like, and it's like your sharp cheddar. And then people are like, oh, I'm extra sharp cheddar. Oh no, I'm like extreme, super sharp, aged for 20 years cheddar. And it's like it's a range of cheddars, and then there's like the cheese curds,
Mm-hmm.
which don't get me wrong, they're delicious.
Don't slander
But
cheese
but
curds.
I would never dare to do that. But when you think of a place being like a cheese capital, you think of variety, whereas I think Wisconsin has taken it on as like a quantity thing. Like we just love to eat your standard cheeses, like a lot of it.
Mm-hmm.
Now, again, cheese curds are an amazing invention and should be enshrined in the Cheese Hall of Fame. I have no problem with cheese curds. They are awesome. But yeah, you're not going to find like the good Wisconsin brie or Limburger or even Swiss or something like that. Like it's a very like straight and narrow path for the Wisconsin cheeses.
Yep. I can see that. I can see it.
So, um, are there any like cultural foods that you just don't care for?
Um, I'm not a big like Indian food fan.
Okay,
Um,
that
I
seems to be
just
a polarizing one out of all of
yeah.
them. Like everyone kind of likes Chinese, everybody kind of likes Mexican food, um, but once you get like Indian, the curries and the stuff like that,
And that's the reason why I'm not like a lot of different. It's not a spiciness, but when you bring in a lot of spice to it,
mhm.
I'm a little bit more on the bland side.
So meat and potatoes kind of.
Not necessarily, but I don't like. I just I'm trying to think of what it is, but I don't like dishes that stay on the plate in a sense. So like you get a curry dish.
Yeah, yeah,
You have a let's say you have a white plate.
right.
That plate will never be white again
Okay, I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying.
because it's so I like I don't know what is it oily or whatever that
Well, it's the plants that are ground up to make the different spices, right?
sure.
It's a lot of vibrant colors and things like that.
I
So
mean, I just remember every plate I had in college was stained orange. So my roommate liked Indian food.
yeah, Yeah. There was one. Yeah, this is gonna maybe sound a little culturally insensitive, but there was a room in the college where all of the like they weren't foreign exchange students obviously once you're in college, but like the TAs
Mm-hmm.
or the graduate assistants, and all of them were from India, Pakistan, and would take eat the curries and things like that. And that one room, like when you went in it, it just smelled different.
Yeah.
Like it was
Mm-hmm.
permanent.
Mm-hmm.
Even if no
That's
one
what I'm
was,
saying. It just
yeah,
stays with it.
yeah,
There's something about it that just stays back.
right, right. Yeah, no, it is strong. It is strong. So, and it's a different kind of strong too. Like I'd say, I love horseradish, but it's a different kind of
Mm-hmm.
strong. You know, what about sushi, raw fish?
Love sushi.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm not a sushi snob. Like
No, no,
I'll
I'll
go
get.
get the prepackaged stuff from
Yeah, yeah,
Sendix, but
right.
I do like sushi.
Yeah, yeah. A lot of people are out on the raw fish thing. So yeah, it's tough to find a food that I don't like.
This is like probably a little shocking because my family is German, but I'm not a huge like authentic German
Oh yeah,
food fan.
yeah.
Like you can save me the strong sauerkraut,
Oh,
um,
I love some good sauerkraut.
the I'm just thinking, like a German potato salad.
Yep, yep.
Please
No.
no, please no. And which like my grandmother made this like super famous
Oh yeah,
German potato
yeah.
salad, and I don't want my potato salad to be sweet.
That's fair. That's fair, I guess. I
Like I
can
said, I'm
understand
a
that.
savory guy.
Right, right.
So like an authentic German dish, I could leave that.
So what do you think, led to your likes and dislikes? Like when was the first time you had sushi
College,
and you liked it then?
yeah,
It didn't take, some time to get used to.
yeah. I always liked fish, so
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
but my fish that I grew up on was
Yeah,
like
it's fried.
fried, beer battered,
Right, right.
gut wrenching fish.
Yeah. So, because a lot of times, what you like is largely based on what you grew up eating.
Hmm.
And so we have, you know, around here a lot of, like you said, German kind of meat and potatoes based food. So you don't get a lot of exotics. Same thing growing up in West Virginia. It's we didn't get a lot of exotics. So I mean, my mom would make lentils. That was kind of novel at the time. But yeah, yeah, I think a lot
Yeah,
of
and I
people.
don't. I've had this conversation with my mom, and I don't mean it in a bad way at all. But we just had a very basic,
Yeah, sure.
and but we always had a fresh meal on the plate. Like we rarely ate leftovers.
Yeah,
Rarely.
yeah,
We always had a fresh home cooked dinner every night.
yeah.
But it was a lot of just very basic staple foods,
Sure.
and I think that's the reality of having four young kids.
Right.
And
Right.
like I know as a father, like if there's don't fix something that ain't broken, right? So it's like we'd always have roast,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
And then that would be, meat, potatoes, cooked carrots.
Right.
And she'd make a chicken dish.
Right.
And, we'd have burgers.
Yep.
So we always had a cow in the freezer.
Right. Right. So how do you approach that with your kids? Are you the kind of parent who says, "Nope, you're trying it. You have to try it. At least take two bites, or do you have to eat all your food? Do you introduce new foods on a regular
Yeah, I mean
basis?"
we're not we're just fresh at the we're barely out of baby food
Yeah. Right.
era. So I think
Right.
that'll evolve over time. Right now we have very basic meals.
Yeah.
Like we're not really giving our kids much exotic stuff.
You know, my I think all of my kids, even when they were like 3, when they're first, eating solid foods, we would get like kind of the more bland sushis and
Hmm.
things like that, like you said, pick and save or wherever, and let them take it apart, let them eat it, and surprise, surprise, some of them actually liked like the raw fish and stuff like that. So it's
One of my kids' favorite foods is salmon.
yeah, yeah, that's a good start. Good
I
start.
called them kids. Dang it.
There you go.
That's for another episode.
Yeah, we'll have a words and wordplay episode part 2 sometime. But yeah, I think it's important to get kids started on different, at least experiencing the spectrum of flavors, right?
Hmm.
Because if they're not introduced to it, then they don't know if they like it.
Right.
Like my one daughter, my youngest, she's, everything you put in front of her, she looks at it and she says, "I don't like that." You've never even tried it, you know. And how many of my kids, they've said like, "I don't want this, I don't like that," and then one of the other kids will take a bite and like, "It's really good," and then they're like, "Oh, I want some." So
Yeah,
it's
I'm really good at that. It's like to start pitting them against each other.
yeah, there you go, there you go. That's the way to motivate.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, to summarize, there's not a lot of foods that I won't eat. Even though
Hmm.
I'm a cookie snob, even though I'm a cake snob, I still find myself grabbing a slice. The upside down pineapple cake was something a lot of people like gush about. Not a big fan of that. Um, it's fine, but not a big fan of that.
Yeah.
Lemon meringue pie, it's fine. I'm not a big
A little bit of a texture thing for me.
sure,
Like that
sure.
meringue.
Yep. Banana cream pie, not a big fan. Vanilla wafers, not a big fan. That whole kind of
Hmm.
pale food.
I'm not a huge this is probably controversial. I'll eat one definitely, but I'm not a huge donut fan.
It's got to be a good donut for me. For me to blow those calories, like I, it's
Like
got to be worth it.
give me 3 eggs over easy hunt, every day of the week over a donut.
Sure, sure.
But
Yeah, I mean, I like both. And if it's a good like glazed or like those crescent donuts, nice and flaky or something like
get out of
that,
here.
I like those. I like
I'm
those.
like chocolate long john only for donuts.
See, if it's a long john, it's got to be cream filled for me. I don't know why. It's just like a lot of bread. Otherwise,
Yeah.
it's just too much bread. So we could have a whole episode on donuts.
Yeah.
Best donuts I ever had were a place called Bosa Donuts in Arizona. And they made these buttermilk donuts that were just phenomenal. It's the best cake donut I've ever had. I mean, it's just amazing. People say, "Oh yeah, this is the best donut you've ever had." You're like, "Yeah, okay, sure," and then you go and you try it, and it's like, "Wow, this is actually the best donut I've ever had." So Bosa Donuts down in
Bosa.
Bosa, yep, down in Tempe, or might have been in Mesa, uh, but yeah, best donuts ever.
We had some good donuts in Philadelphia. I don't remember the
Sure.
name of the place,
Yep.
but
Yep.
if you like donuts, I'm sure you would like these ones.
Yeah.
I could take them or leave them, but
Yeah. So I've been disappointed with the local donut scene around here. Pick and save. They've got their on days and off days. It's like whoever showed up at the bakery that day kind of
right.
determines what's good and what's not. Um, we had that. Local actual bakery shut down.
Hmm.
So yeah, it's not great. Not great donut scene right now. Someone needs to do something about that. But see if we can get that going.
There you go. I've been thinking about my sign off this whole show.
All right, what we got?
Nothing. I've got nothing.
All right. Well, I hope that maybe our listeners have contemplated some food decisions that they make in their lives, and that they, try new things. Right? Get out there, try something new, and maybe something that you don't like. Maybe there's a way to make it more palatable. Right? Throw some ranch dressing on. I'm a big dips guy, so like
Yeah,
if
dip.
If you don't like
dip.
something, yeah, absolutely. You know, you have a dry chicken breast, you know, like get some ranch, get some honey mustard, get some barbecue sauce.
That's totally a Midwest thing, though, to like dips, I think. But
It's yeah, more so. I mean, we did everything at ranch in West Virginia too, so
okay,
I think it's not exclusive, but I think there's more of it out here. But yeah, so enjoy your food, and till next time.
see you next time.